Is Bitcoin finally going to break this resistance on the 4-hour chart? We're going to see a massive explosion of 3000% towards the upside. Guys, we're going to look at the charts to find out why we could expect this massive pump towards the upside starting exactly now. And guys, what is going on with Pepe? We are forming a new all-time high. So guys, I'm going to show you why I think that we're going to see a massive correction towards the downside of 83%. So guys, yes, we're also going to look at some bullish news on Bitcoin, and I'm going to show you why we could expect this pump of 3000% towards the upside. But guys, I'm also going to draw the 2 lucky winners of the crypto shirts. So guys, if you want to find out more, watch the video until the end, smash up the like button and subscribe, and most importantly, activate the bell so that you always stay up to date. And yes guys, we're going to go directly over to Pepe, because yes, we have formed a new all-time high, and yes, I told you in these regions that we're most probably going to see a dump all the way back down to the 61.8, and this was exactly where we reached this high. But yes, as we can see, we only came down to the 23.6 Fibonacci retracement level, and yes guys, I told you that we're most probably going to see a correction all the way down to the 61.8, but no, Pepe turned around and we have formed a new all-time high. So what could we expect? First of all guys, Pepe is just a meme coin and there's no utility behind this project. So guys, yes, I would be very careful investing in these highs, because yes, we could see this massive dump towards the downside coming all the way back down to the 88.6. But guys, yes, a lot of people will take profits in these regions, so we could expect the dump all the way back down to the 61.8 Fibonacci retracement level. And yes guys, if we're going to take it from this high all the way back down, then we can see, yes, this would be an 83% correction towards the downside. So yes guys, this is what I'm expecting, and this is the only time when I'm going to enter into Pepe and where I'm going to load up in this red zone, in between the 61.8 and also the 50% level. Because yes guys, we can see that we have support in these regions where this was resistance, and also support in these regions, and this means yes, the 50% level is going to be a strong support. But guys, we could expect a strong wick towards the downside, and then we could expect that more people will sell their bags in these regions, and then we could see a strong wick towards the downside, maybe even coming all the way back down to the 88.6. But guys, I expect that this coin will see a consolidation and that we're going to see a next leg up and that we're going to see even higher prices for Pepe. But guys, please, investing into these meme coins has nothing to do with investment. It is all just a major gamble. So you could end up buying in these areas and the price just dumps all the way back down, and this was just a major rug pull. And that's why guys, only invest a small amount. So guys, now we're going to go over to the charts of Bitcoin before we're going to find out why we could see this massive pump towards the upside. So first of all, on the weekly chart, we can see that Bitcoin had the strong support in between these areas of $30,000 in the previous bull run. So first of all, it was resistance that later on turned into support, and the price of Bitcoin came all the way back down to these levels, and we saw this bounce. And that moment where we lost this major support, we saw this strong move towards the downside. So first of all, Bitcoin is at this very important level, the $30,000 level, and this is major resistance guys, and that we can see in the price movement for Bitcoin. But guys, first of all, this is very bullish for Bitcoin. And why? Yes, because we can see that the price of Bitcoin stays in this major resistance area, and the price is consolidating exactly there, and we're consolidating over time. And this means if the price movement moves sideways in this range, but guys, if we would see a consolidation over the price, we would see a strong wick towards the downside coming all the way back down to the very important moving averages, and then the price would bounce up afterwards. Consolidating over time means that the price of Bitcoin is holding this level and that we are having a lot of support at this major resistance area. And on the lower time frames, we can see for Bitcoin on the 4-hour chart at the moment that yes, we are just underneath this major downward sloping trend. We can see that this is resistance from all the way at the levels of $31,000. So guys, yes, we saw that Bitcoin came down, we tested this as resistance, and then we saw this dump towards the downside continuation, and we have formed this nice W, and we saw this breakout, came all the way back up to this resistance, and then we saw this consolidation, and we tried to break this area, but we saw this dump towards the downside, and we failed, and we came all the way back down to the bottom of this resistance, which is all the way down at the levels of $28,200, and this acts as support at the moment. So guys, yes, we can see that Bitcoin will see a massive breakout from these regions if we're going to break this very important level, where we can see this upward sloping trend and also this downward sloping trend of Bitcoin. And if we're going to break out from these regions, we could expect that Bitcoin will consolidate at this local highs and that we're going to at least come all the way back up to the 31,000 US dollar level. But guys, if we're going to see this bearish scenario, we could see that Bitcoin will come all the way back down to first this support round about the 28,000 US dollar level, and then we could expect that, yes guys, we still have this next support level round about the 27,000 US dollars for Bitcoin. So yes guys, most probably we're going to see this breakout over the weekend, and that we're going to see that the price of Bitcoin will consolidate over this very important trend lines. But guys, let's go back on the weekly chart. So yes guys, we could expect the next leg for Bitcoin with a fast move towards the upside, breaking the 32,000 US dollar level, maybe even coming all the way up to the 34,000 US dollar level. And guys, we're going to find out why we could see this massive explosion of 3,000%. And I'm going to first look at the news to explain you why we could reach this massive targets. So yes, we are seeing that a lot of banks are failing and that the Federal Reserve raised the interest rate by 25 basis points. So guys, yes, this means that the economy is going to see a major collapse and that we are even going to see that the US dollar will fail. And yes, eventually all of this capital is going to flow into Bitcoin. And yes, the hash rate of Bitcoin is a parabolic uptrend. More money is being invested into Bitcoin mining each day. Network effect and adoption of Bitcoin increases daily. Bitcoin is unique and it's needed by the world. And yes guys, we're seeing a lot of banks crash, but Bitcoin is still holding strong and the hash rate and the network power is getting stronger each day. And yes, the number of Bitcoin on-chain transactions are seeing a massive all-time high. And guys, yes, we saw that on the 1st of May, we saw 500,000 daily transactions. And this was the all-time high, guys. And this means that more people are entering the crypto market. And yes, the bearish case for Bitcoin is to match gold's valuation. This would be a 30x, meaning 3000% pump towards the upside. The high scenario is a 500x, meaning 50,000% towards the upside. But guys, where does all this money come from? And yes, at the moment we can see that Bitcoin's market cap 400 billion is actually not correct. We have round about 560 billion, the market cap for Bitcoin. But guys, we can see that gold sits round about at 12 trillion. So this would be a 30x. But if we're going to see the best case scenario, if Bitcoin is going to be the money, then we're going to see that Bitcoin will see an inflow of 200 trillion US dollars. But now you're asking yourself, where does all this money come from? Bitcoin will increasingly eat into every asset class. And yes guys, these are all the assets around the world. And we can see that this is at round about 900 trillion. So this means if only these will flow into Bitcoin, we are seeing this massive pump and this best case scenario of the 50,000% towards the upside. And yes guys, this will eventually happen. But first of all, let's go with the bearish case of reaching the market cap of gold, and this would be a 30x towards the upside. And guys, yes, this would mean that Bitcoin will come all the way up to the price of 1 million US dollar, which would be all the way up here. And this could be imaginable if we're going to see this breakout from this very important trend line from the high of this year, and then we're going to see a parabolic move towards the halvening and this massive explosion where we're going to break the all-time high. And guys, if we're going to see these massive banks collapse, yes guys, we're going to see a lot of money flow into Bitcoin. First of all, because of the trust, because Bitcoin is not going to go away. Bitcoin can never fail. And that's why we could expect this massive pump all the way up to these highs. And guys, yes, buying in these areas is going to bring you generational wealth. If we're going to see that the banks are going to fail and that the US dollar will collapse, we're going to get this massive explosion towards the upside, because we only have 21 million Bitcoin that will ever exist. And every asset trends towards zero against Bitcoin over time by design. And yes, we can see a lot of companies and also assets are trading to zero against Bitcoin, and so will the US dollar. And yes, a lot of people might think that we're not going to reach the price of 1 million or even 10 million for Bitcoin. But guys, if the US dollar will collapse and if we're going to see this massive pump that Bitcoin will be used as money, you can't price Bitcoin against the US dollar because the US dollar will collapse. And this is where this major evaluation comes in, guys. Because we only have 21 million Bitcoin that will ever exist, no matter how you slice it. And yes guys, talking about pizza, and why is it Bitcoin Pizza Day on the 22nd of May? Because yes, on the 22nd of May 2010, this guy bought 2 pizzas for 10,000 Bitcoin, And if he would have held all of these Bitcoin at the moment, he would have had 300 million. So yes guys, dollar cost average into Bitcoin, because if we're going to see this massive collapse of the economy and also the US dollar, you are buying at the lows. And guys, let's go over back to the 4-hour chart to find out what we could expect at the moment. And yes guys, it looks very bullish for Bitcoin. We saw this dump towards the downside, but we could see that Bitcoin found support exactly in these areas, and it looks like that we're going to see this breakout with the first price target, yes guys, of all the way at the levels of 30,000 US dollars. And then we have to see if Bitcoin will stay above this range and that we're going to see this consolidation. But guys, now we're going to find out who the 2 lucky winners are of the crypto shirts. Not a lot of people have participated, but I've selected 2 winners. And yes guys, these are the winners of the 2 crypto t-shirts, NXBTC and also Mr. Fresh Dot. So guys, congratulations on winning these crypto shirts, and you may choose which one you would like. So yes, message me over on Instagram so that we can send you your crypto clothing. And yes guys, dollar cost average into Bitcoin, and if you like this update, smash up the like button and subscribe, and most importantly activate the bell so that you always stay up to date. And guys, also go down in the video description below and sign up to my free Telegram group. And guys, make sure to be for crypto, and we see each other in the next video.